Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make aloo paratha. Aloo paratha is actually a flat kind of bread in pan filled with potato filling. So here we have some plain dough. I made this dough in food processor. It's a really nice and soft dough. So if you guys are interested, go check out my video how to make a dough in food processor. It's just have some milk, water, all-purpose flour and some salt in it, so it's just a plain kind of dough. All the measurements, everything is in the video, food processor video, so go check that out. We need some dry flour for that dough. Here we have some potatoes, so I am taking a large size 5 potatoes, so that's what we need for the filling inside. So these are pretty big, huge, large size potatoes. Here we have some veggies. I have onion, medium sized onion, and here I have some green chilies. I'm taking frozen one, and I have a bunch of coriander. You'll need some oil. I'm just taking a cup of oil, and these are all the spices are gonna go in the filling. So first we have some dry coriander over here, 1 teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of red crushed chilies. We have some salt over here, 1.5 teaspoon. We have some red chili, half teaspoon. Red chili powder is pretty spicy. We have some cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon, and here I have some ginger paste, 1 teaspoon. So these are all the ingredients, and here I have my pan. So I'm gonna be using this pan for this dough for the bread, and just turn on your heat on medium low. So first thing, we're gonna boil our potatoes. So as in this clip you guys can see, they're boiling, and I boil them for about 15 minutes. So boil them really well, just like you would need for mashed potatoes. Really soft potatoes, that's what you're looking for. Here I am just cutting all my veggies. So here I have green coriander. Now make sure to chop it really finely, because when you put the filling inside the bread, then it'll tend to break kind of your bread. So make sure your veggies are really thinly chopped. So I'm cutting my green chilies. So as you guys can see, the black seeds coming out, they're not bad green chilies, but they were frozen and they're like fresh from the garden. They were like fresh from the garden, and then I freeze them, so that's why they're like that. But the taste is absolutely really good taste. And yeah, they're just my own garden chilies. I have an onion. I'm peeling the onion. So we're gonna chop the onion really finely too. So make sure to chop your onion as fine as you can. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the whole thing. Probably maybe half onion for now, but just chop it really thinly. You guys can use food processor or chopper for this, but I'm just doing it by hand. So I did use half onion. Here I'm just peeling. I start peeling the potatoes, but they were really hot, so I let them cool down a little bit, and just peel them. Don't use the peeler because they're boiled potatoes. Never use the peeler for that. Just use a knife. They come off really easily. They peeled really easily, but make sure there's no skin left on the potatoes. Otherwise, yeah, it's just not really yummy. It's not good to taste the peels in your bread. So make sure to peel them really well, the best you can. So peel all your potatoes, and they should be really soft, just like for mashed potatoes, the soft potatoes. So they're big potatoes. When I was done boiling them, I checked them with the skewer, and that if they're done all the way through. So just cut them into a little smaller pieces, and make sure your potatoes are not completely cool, because then it's really hard to mash them, and they doesn't mash as good. So make sure they're cold enough to handle, but still warm, so then it's easy to mash. Add all your spices in here and your ginger, everything at once. So while you're mashing it, the spices will mixed up really well in there. So mash it really well. Don't leave any big chunks of potatoes in here. So make sure they mash really, really finely. After mashing, add your all your veggies, green coriander, onion, and green chilies. At this stage, I'm just going to be using my hand. So if I see any big lump of potato, I can just, just mash that as well with my hands. So mix all your ingredients really well, and you can also go ahead and check your spices. So check the salt, and if you want to add some other spices in there, if you like it spicy, some more maybe red chili powder. So this is basically the stuffing for the bread. So we're gonna stuff our bread with that filling. Here's my dough, and here is my oil and our dry flour. That's what we're gonna need. So we're gonna make round balls just like you would make for any bread. So make sure to cover your hand with oil so the dough won't stick to your hand. So I'm just taking some dough, enough which can fit in my pan when I just round it. So just like a pizza, you would need something round enough dough which can fit in your pizza pan. The same concept is here. So cut your dough into two pieces, and afterwards make small balls out of both dough balls, kind of like small dough balls like this. So afterwards you can go ahead and as many as you need it, just make all the dough balls because they do need some time to rest. So here I made all these balls, and here I'm just I give them actually around 10 to 5 minutes, because then your dough is well rested, and then it's easy to flatten it out. So use your hands, and then use the rolling pin to flat it out. So we're gonna need for one bread, we're gonna need two balls. So flatten it out. Do not flat it too much big, because we're gonna add the filling, and then it's gonna we're gonna flat it later on. So flat it, make it round. Keep using your dry flour so it won't stick to the countertop. So afterwards, just flat both of the dough as the same size, and the same thickness as you can. Keep making sure to put the dry flour, because it tend to stick to the counter a lot. So just make them the same size as much as you can, and afterwards, when you're done that, put the potato filling inside. So in the beginning, I'll suggest not to fill it up too much, because for the first one at least, put a little bit less filling, because the filling can come out of the dough. So make sure to put enough. If I'm putting it a lot here, because I used to make these a lot, so that's why I know how much I can handle. Now put the other piece of dough right on top. So it's just like a sandwich. The middle is just the potato filling. Now with your hands, seal the edges. While you're sealing the edges, try to use really gentle hands, because and make sure to put some dry flour on top, so it won't, when you feel like it's sticking to the countertop, just put some dry flour on top so it won't stick to the countertop. That's really important, because if your dough start getting sticking, it's just hard to get it off the countertop. With the rolling pin, just roll it out a little bit with really gentle hands, because you don't want your filling to start coming out. And as you're going, just keep sealing the edges. So just that's the trick. When you do it yourself, then that's how you're gonna get it. Your pan should be warm enough. Just put it in the pan and keep sealing the edges, and put some oil on top. So around 2 tablespoons, or maybe a little bit less or a little bit more, as much as you need, you feel like. When you see that the dough changes color, it means it cooks from the bottom. So it should look like this, something like this, like a little bit golden. So now when you flip it, the other side is actually the presenting side. So make sure to spin it around in the pan, because when it gets all greased from the bottom, that's where it get this golden, beautiful golden fried kind of color. So that's what you're looking for. Make sure to cook it really even from both sides. It takes around 2 minutes on one side, because the heat is on low. Make sure your edges are really nicely cooked from both sides. Once you feel like it's done cooking and it's all golden, so you're ready to serve. So yeah, that's it. I already made all of these, and I'm gonna do the filling in there. And here I'm making the other one, so just want to show you a little clip that how this should look like. This is my second one. So it's the same procedure, but just flip it right when you feel like the dough changes color. So just cut it with the pizza cutter, and it's really hard, and I just want to show you guys how it's supposed to look from inside. So it's a really nice and soft and most kind of bread. Serve it with any kind of dip or anything, but even itself it looks so yummy and it looks so delicious. Now this was the filling one. So these are all I'm making with the potato filling, and the filling can be any filling, not just a potato filling. Now here I want to show you guys just how to make just this dough, which called paratha, just a simple one, without any filling in there. So for a completely simple paratha, which you can make and use anything, eat it with your chicken or with any kind of curry or with anything, even itself with the tea, it's a really, really good breakfast. So I'm just going to show you guys how I do that. So just take a ball and the same procedure, just repeat the same procedure. But after when you're done making your dough ball, let it rest for a bit so then it's easy to spread. And then just spread it out. Spread it out to the medium length. So once you think you spread it enough, just put some oil in here. So right now I'm just putting oil and making sure to spread the oil like all over the dough. So it's a really important tip to do this, because that's how it's gonna make your dough all to create all those layers and make your crispy kind of bread for you. So just put some dry flour on top. So the first thing, flat out your dough, put some oil on top, and then sprinkle it with some dry all-purpose flour. Then with the help of pizza cutter, just cut it into thin strip, enough thin, but not too thin, but enough like kind of an inch thick kind of strips, and then just start rolling it. So here in this clip I'm showing you guys how just to roll it, and that'll create, these rolls will create kind of those layers, and that's how it's gonna make like a really crispy crunchy kind of dough or a paratha. So here you guys can see just like a cinnamon bun or a cinnamon roll, like kind of roll it out the dough. So just keep rolling it, get all the dough, and yeah, repeat the same procedure, and try to get the smaller ones in the middle and the longer ones at the end, then they're kind of easy to just hold on to it. So just make that, keep rolling it, and after when you're done, it should look like this. Take your dry flour, just put it into your dry flour and let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes, so then all the layers are really in there. And then go ahead and just with the help of your hand, just flatten it out a little bit, enough so then it's easy to flat it with the rolling pin. So just roll it out, and all those rolls we made in the beginning when we cut it with the pizza cutter, that'll create those crispy crunchy, that'll like result into the crispy and crunchy kind of paratha. So yeah, flatten it out and do the same procedure, but this have no filling inside. So yeah, that's how just flatten it out, and you guys can see the rolls, in the beginning when we roll it out, all those crunchy kind of layers in the middle. Put some oil on top and repeat the same procedure as we did the other one. As you see the color is changed, just flip it, and once you flip it, make sure to spin it a little bit in your pan so the oil gets to the whole paratha, and then flip it after 2 minutes and it should look like this. So yeah, that's it for the simple one. So that was completely like plain kind of paratha. Usually we eat this with all kind of cooked veggies and with curry chicken. So this is the simple plain one, the plain paratha, and this one is the filling one. So in our house people like to eat the filling ones. So that's why I make these a lot for my kids. And as you guys can see, all the filling, the potato filling inside, you can put chicken filling or veggie filling in there. Instead of potato, put some, some beans or whatever you guys like, even some mince meat, some ground beef. So yeah, that's it. So these are really traditional kind of bread, Pakistani and Indian bread, which called paratha. It's really delicious, and try it, and comment below if you guys have tried it, that how do you guys like it. So this is it for this recipe. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys haven't, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave the comment below, and I'll see you guys later in the next video. Bye.